What's up, everybody? How the hell are we? You're very welcome along to tonight's late night agenda, which will also act as our preview show ahead of the Brighton game coming up at 12:30 p.m. on Saturday afternoon. I say Saturday afternoon. To me, that's basically midway through Friday night with my crazy sleeping patterns. But look, ladies and gentlemen, lovely for you to join me again. I really appreciate your time. Loads for us to get through tonight. We'll be talking about SCHUURS. We'll be talking about Divock Origi. We will, of course, be talking about the game against Brighton coming up on Saturday, and we'll have a little reflection over last night's pretty terrible performance, if we're being honest, against an Atalanta team that thoroughly deserved that victory. So look, how are we, folks? Lovely to see you all in. Bernadette, Scotty, Anthony, Tom Boland, insert username Ragar. I thought it was Clav on there for a second. I was kind of a bit excited, mate. How are we? Joanna's in as well. Neil's in. Mohammed's in. Maddie's in. Danny Dog's in. Kate is next in the S to Kevin Smith and K1D. How are we? Lovely to see you all in, folks. What do you want to talk about first tonight? We have a little chat around last night's game and the disappointment, or will we just bury that like a bit of our past that we don't want to remember, just push it deep down and move on? It was interesting to hear Kloppo talking about the 5 changes that he made last night, the fact that he was forced into them really with need to rotate and players injured and stuff. So he said he would do it again. He didn't regret any decisions that were made yesterday, and we just didn't perform well enough, which is true. Atalanta deserved the victory in my opinion, and I've no saltiness towards it or anything like that. We just didn't play well. It's simple as that, and we're going to have days like these in football, unfortunately, folks. Ready for Saturday lunchtime, said Rob. I am, buddy, and again, I'll do the preview section in a few minutes. We'll go through the predicted 11 score predictions, stuff like that as well. The good news today is that Hendo has been pictured back in full training, which is great news. Still no images of Thiago, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen. I don't even know what to say. Every night I come on here and I'm hoping I'm going to have a bit more information around Thiago's recovery, but everyone's been stonewalled here. There's no real information floating around at all around Thiago. And I don't think that the way things stand, we'll see him on Saturday, even though that's kind of what was put out there, what we were not led to believe, because I'm not saying that anybody's trying to misinform anyone or anything like that, but I don't know what to say to you now, folks. He's not in my predicted 11, that much I can say to you. And now I'm starting to say to myself, well, will we see him against Ajax next week? And again, I don't know, folks. Someone talking about SCHUURS isn't that great. Well, again, I'll get to the SCHUURS stuff in a minute, man. Liverpool had SCHUURS on trial when he was 17, and they were impressed, and they've been keeping tabs on him since. And I'll talk about that in a few more minutes as well. What have we got? Everybody with Ajax, I'll take this and this. I don't know what that means. Maybe you're talking about Ajax having a good young squad, mate. I don't know. It was your birthday yesterday. I know, Scotty, we wished you a happy birthday, mate, on the stream. Congratulations, buddy. 21, that's amazing. What I'd give to be 21 again, Scotty. Wolves at home, Kate is next in the S, the rest. Look, the good news about Wolves at home, folks, is that it looks like that will be the first game that will see fans return to Anfield. Yes, you heard me right. With the new tier system, Liverpool has fallen into tier 2, which means themselves and Everton will be able to have up to 2,000 fans. And of course, Tranmere and anybody else in the greater Liverpool area will be able to have up to 2,000 fans inside their stadium. So when we welcome Wolves to Anfield, it looks like there'll be 2,000 Liverpool fans, or at least, 2,000 fans inside the stadium for that one, which is great news. A bit of a shock that Manchester actually was classed as a tier 3 area, so they won't be able to welcome in any fans. And I do have a list of all the clubs and who can and can't welcome fans back in, and of course we'll go through that as the stream goes on as well. There's lots of information today, folks. It's been a pretty busy day. John Conway, always a pleasure to see you in, mate. How are you? Oscar, lovely to see you in as well. Do you think Mane will start, considering he played against Atalanta? I do. But I would have given him a rest against Atalanta, mate. My predicted 11, he got the rest and Jota continued to play. But I don't think we can really afford to rest anybody, as crazy as that sounds, mate. We've seen what resting players did against Atalanta. It just didn't work out for us. Maybe one too many. But I think we'll see a pretty strong team at the weekend. As strong as Klopp can really go against Atalanta. Or excuse me, against who we played the weekend? At Brighton. Sorry, brain gone for a second. As long as he's not training, Thiago won't start. I agree. Thiago's going to need a couple of days worth of training. The longer this goes on, the more training he'll probably need. But look, again, all we can do is just wait. As frustrating as it is, all we can do is just sit back and wait. No update on Thiago. No update. Welcome back, Craig. Feeling better today. Ready to bring on Brighton. Feeling positive again. A blip. All teams will have these. Love that, Angela. Love it. Well played. Love the positivity. And yeah, it was crap. It wasn't great. Klopp admitted it. The players will know it. What I didn't like was some of the scapegoating, as always, that you see on social media. You know, trying to pin it on youngsters or Origi. And look, I was Origi's biggest critic yesterday, and he was horrendous. But certainly wasn't the reason we lost the game. The reason we lost the game was every single one of the players on the pitch. To be fair, bar maybe Alisson. There's not much he could have done with either of the goals. And other than that, we just didn't play well. Full stop. Will Hendo be fit for Brighton away? Yes, Scotty. I believe that he will, and he will be in my starting 11 when I go through it later on. Good news to have Hendo back, said Jake. It's brilliant, mate. Lamptey's out because he got a red card. Yes, that is a bit of a bonus for us, Ismail, because, you know, Lamptey's a very good young footballer, very good at getting up and down the flanks, and it will be beneficial to us for him not to be playing, no doubt about it. John Warren said, I'm really sad Origi was awful. I hate to go in on our boys. So do I, John. But let me give you a bit of an update on where I believe we are with the Divock Origi situation. So I think that Divock Origi may well look to go out on loan in January. The reason obviously being that he wants to try and force his way into the Belgium squad for the Euros. And he's not going to get enough game time at Liverpool this season, particularly if he puts in performances like that. To justify a start in that Belgium squad, or to even get picked in the Belgium squad. So I'm fully expecting Divock Origi to at least try to engineer a loan move in January. It's weird, I've been praising Divock for signing that new contract at Liverpool because he could have left, could have walked out on a free. But now I'm starting to wonder if it's gone the other way, if we're seeing a player who's comfortable because he has that new contract and he has those wages and he's at Liverpool Football Club, but surely he's going to want to play. Surely he's going to want to be in that Belgium side. And the vibes that I'm getting from the people that I've reached out and spoken to are that there is a possibility of Divock going out on loan. And I stand over what I said before as well. I still think that we should have tried to cash in on Divock and kept Ryan Brewster. Now, I don't know if the situation around Brewster was that we could have got money for Ryan Brewster, which we did, and that money allowed us to get Diogo Jota. But I still believe that the plan would have been to move Divock on. I just don't know if we could have gotten the money that the club would have wanted. Frustrating, but look, we are where we are. But what I will say is, with regards to the attacking threat that Liverpool have, I would say that he's fallen down the pecking order. You've heard me say this before. You know, you've got the front three, the old front three, let's say. Then you've got Diogo Jota on top of that. I would even put Shaqiri and Minamino ahead of Origi in the list if they're both fit as well. So, to me, there's an opportunity there for him to move on and everyone to put this to bed because, look, he's had great moments for Liverpool, but it just looks like it's working out, unfortunately. Click for Cayley, so we always lose with Neco Williams playing in defence. He leaves space at the back. Again, he's a young player that's learning, will make mistakes. He certainly was not at fault for that loss yesterday. Yes, you can point to the fact that both goals came down, or the first goal at least, I can remember, came down his flank. But again, another youngster didn't track for the second goal, unfortunately, in Reece Williams. Somebody said Robbo was beaten at the back post with a header, but of course he was going to be beaten. Look at the size of Ilicic up against Robbo, and Robbo's having to backtrack. So Ilicic was always going to win the first header, but then there was no tracking for the second ball, and, you know, unfortunately Reece Williams was caught ball watching there. And that happens with young players. We've seen it happen with Joe Gomez over the years as well. And what people need to remember, particularly around young Neco Williams, is he's not the finished product. He's 19 years of age. Trent Alexander-Arnold had rings ran around about one point by Rashford and had some bad games. It will happen. This is part of their development. Now, I don't know if Neco Williams will make it long term at Liverpool or not. That's not for me to judge, not for me to say. But I can say that it's not the right time to be judging the young lad now. He's only getting settled at the club. He's only, well, I say getting settled, I mean him with the first team. He's only just feeling his way in. So I think he needs to get a bit of a breather as well with regards to people going in on him. I just don't like people going in on the young lads, basically. Any news on Oxlade-Chamberlain? No. The only news I can give you, Mason, is Hendo's back training. Chamberlain has absolutely stepped up his recovery. But Thiago seems to be just a stonewall. There's just no information out there at all. When does Origi's new contract expire? I don't know, but I'm sure a little search on Transfermarkt would tell us that. But I would imagine he signed at least a 4-year deal, Brian. Sorry if you've already answered this question. Just tuned in. Hey man, no problem. You can ask me anything. Don't worry about it. If I've already answered it, I'll go back over it if I need to. Do I think Liverpool will buy Haaland? Here's the situation with young Haaland. We know he has a buyout clause in his contract. Some people believe that buyout clause came into effect next summer, i.e. 2021. It doesn't. It comes into effect in 2022, and it's believed to be around 75 million euro. So I would be amazed if Houlden goes anywhere in the summer. I think he'll see through to 2022 at Dortmund, which is probably the right move for the young man, if you're being honest. If we take off our Liverpool hats here and look at this from a situation where we're representing Houlden or we're looking after his best interest, you would tell him to stay put. Tell him to continue his education, playing Champions League football, challenging for the Bundesliga, playing with other young good players. I think he will stay there till 2022. And yes, I do think Liverpool will be in the conversation to try and get him to Liverpool when that clause kicks in. And I'm sure the groundwork by a lot of clubs has probably been laid and done already to try and get that sorted. So yes, it's going to be interesting, and that could, of course, 2022 could be the ideal time as well to maybe look to cash in on one of the front three, I still call them, the old guard front three. What else have we got? Has Gini had talks for a new contract yet? I believe that there is an open channel of communication there, and I think nothing has been ruled out as of yet. I fully expect them to offer Gini a new contract. I mean, it's common sense. Why wouldn't they? It would save us a fortune and going out and getting another player. But then again, we don't know where Gini's mind is on what offers Gini has on the table. Gini could, in theory, in January, just sign for anybody outside of the UK and, sign a pre-contract agreement. How long is Keita out for? Still no update, mate, on that one, unfortunately. Is Thiago returning soon? Mate, I'm as confused and frustrated as everybody on this one. We were all told, looking like Brighton. Look at the media, various reports saying it's looking like Brighton, but yet we still haven't seen him back in training. And if he's not back in training, and if he wasn't training on Thursday, the game early on Saturday, I can't see any way he starts the game against Brighton. Do people honestly think I'm that stupid to fall for fake account after fake account after fake account? Fake Redman TV account there. Look, as if they'd be coming on here to talk to me, and the answer would have been no anyway. What else we got? Salah not looking like a world-class player. How? How is he not looking like a world-class player? Go on, I'm waiting. Explain this one to me. Salah, who's had a great season so far, came back and has had one poor game but doesn't look like a world-class player. Another stupid comment, mate. Just, he is a world-class player. Whether you think he looks like one or not doesn't really make a difference, because he is. Please can I do the Brighton preview? Absolutely, Danny Dog. Let's move over and do the Brighton preview, so ladies and gentlemen. Actually, 1 second. John's just sent in a super chat. I got to read that one out. Liverpool and Wolves game on Sunday, December the 6th. Kickoff 7:15 live on Amazon Prime, said John. Indeed it is, in the UK and Ireland. Actually in Ireland that'll be on Premier Sports as well. So if you've got Premier Sports as part of your package, I believe that Wolves game will be on there. And that will be the first one that will have fans back as well, which is class. Up to 2,000 fans allowed inside Anfield, as Liverpool has been put into Tier 2. Right, let's switch over studios, and you're going to get my score predictions straight away here. Right, ladies and gentlemen, let's move to the preview section of the show. Brighton coming up on Saturday. It's a 12:30pm kickoff. Game being shown live on BT Sport as well. You can see my score prediction below. I'm going for a 2-0 away win for the Reds. Brighton, a good side, but I think they will play into our strengths, because Potter likes to play a decent attacking level of football, and I think that will play into our strengths, and I think we'll pick them off, and I think we'll beat them. But again, we're going to need to show up, and we're going to need to be a lot better than we were against Atalanta. So it's not going to be straightforward. No games in the Premier League are. I'm always very nervous when we have these early kickoffs, but then again, sometimes we usually go out to get the result done. So look, without further ado, let's go through the lineup for this game and see what you guys think about it. So here's my predicted starting 11 for the game against Brighton coming up at the weekend, and of course I'll talk you through each one of the choices as well. Right, here we go, folks. This is what I think we're going to look like against Brighton on Saturday. Obviously, Alisson in goal. I expect James Milner to revert back to the right back position while we await Trent to return from injury. Again, we're expecting Trent maybe to be a week or so away. Could be a little bit either side of that, so don't take that as gospel, but I fully expect Jimmy Milner to come back in at right back for this one. At left back, obviously Andy Robertson is going to come back in. good to see Costas Tsimikas get some minutes against Atalanta. It was a mixed bag for him, to be fair, but again, that was one of his early competitive games for the Reds, so he'll need to get used to the system as well, and I'm sure Klopp will have video footage ready and talk him through what he did right and what he did wrong against Atalanta. But Robbo, best left back in Europe, he's coming back in, I think, for this one. And then Fabinho and Matip for me at the centre of the Liverpool defence. I did toy with the idea of bringing in Nat Phillips for this one, but look, we can't afford another stumble, and I'm not saying that Nat Phillips would of course cause that stumble. I just think we need to go as strong as we can for this one and make sure we pick up the points, and hopefully Spurs drop points against Chelsea or vice versa. Maybe at the end of this weekend the Reds could be back solely on top of the Premier League. So Fabinho and Matip for me is the centre back pairing. Moving into midfield, I expect El Capitan Jordan Henderson to return for this one. Pictures of him training, which is great. I was watching his movement in it. He's looking like he's moving freely, and I think he'll be ready to go. He wasn't out too long, so Hendo won't need too many sessions to get back up to speed. So again, I think Hendo inside, alongside Gini Wijnaldum, with Bobby Firmino. I'm going for the attacking quartet here, folks. I'm going balls out again. I'm going Firmino, Mane, Jota and Salah. Whether Jota's through the centre, whether Salah's through the centre, whether they change formation and change positions, I don't mind. But just a reminder again that is a 12:30pm kickoff UK and Irish time on Saturday against Brighton at the Amex, and it's going to be on BT. Other than that, looking at it from a Brighton point of view, of course we know that Tariq Lamptey is going to be ruled out of this game because he picked up a red card, so that will rule him out. It'll be interesting to see Adam Lallana again, of course, and I fully expect Brighton to come at us because that's the way Potter sets his teams up. They look to play open, expansive, good attacking football, which usually plays into our hands. Now maybe Potter has a plan, maybe they're going to look to tweak things, or they could revert back to a team who sit back deep and try and catch us on the counter. Either way, without Lamptey, there is a big hole in that defence for Brighton. From our point of view, of course, I'd love to know what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know your thoughts on the starting 11 or my predicted starting 11. Let me know your thoughts on anything. Let me know your thoughts on who you'd like to see in there. Do you think maybe Divock deserves a second chance? Would you like to see Takumi Minamino get some minutes? I was surprised, actually, that he wasn't in the starting 11 for the game against Atalanta. I thought it would have been an ideal game from the start in. Curtis Jones as well. Maybe somebody out there thinks Curtis Jones will continue his starting berth for the Reds in that midfield. I just think with Hendo coming back, we massively missed him. You could see it. We've no rhythm in the game, so I expect Hendo to come back in. Milner at right back, and I think Milner will do all right at right back. To be fair, I think he's not the ideal solution. Hasn't got the pace that he used to have, but he is a pro through and through, and I think he'll guide us through the game. And look, I'm expecting a 2-0 win. That's what I'm going with. We should be beating Brighton away, with all due respect. If we're going to go on and try and go back-to-back and win this Premier League title, we should be beating Brighton. But look, let me know your thoughts on it, folks. Your score predictions as well. Let me know your thoughts on the early kickoff. And again, as the news broke earlier on, Liverpool's game against Wolves on the 6th of December, 7:15pm kickoff. It's on Amazon in the UK. If you're in Ireland, you can get it on Premier Sports as well. That game will be the first game where the Reds will have fans back inside Anfield, which is great news. I think Arsenal technically are the first club that will have any fans back for one of the Europa League games. But yeah, brilliant news today for the city of Liverpool. Liverpool and Everton going to be able to welcome fans back in up to 2,000. Manchester unfortunately came into Tier 3, so City and United won't be able to have any fans in. But look, this is the last game I suppose the Reds will be playing in the league without fans for the near future, at least. Well, this is an away game, so maybe there'll be more down the line actually. But again, let me know your thoughts on that as well, folks, because there's been a lot of good positive news coming around today. And again, with regards to the centre-back situation, make sure you check out the Clips channel as well. Anfield Agenda Clips is our new channel. There's a link to that in the description as well. So basically what we're doing on there is we're breaking up the long-form content into more bite-sized chunks for people. So please do go over and give that channel a subscription as well. As I said, link in the description. But yeah, 2-0 for me. Reds win, back to winning ways, back up on top of the table, and hopefully we'll carry that form on then to the Ajax game. And look, let me know if you think I'm being arrogant or confident again. I know there are opposition fans who are going to be watching this preview and saying, look mate, you know, it's been a bit of a hit and miss season for Liverpool, don't be so arrogant. If you're a fan, you got to back your team, and I think that these guys will want to go out there and put right the wrong against Atalanta. I don't know if we were complacent in that game. I don't know if they just couldn't get going for whatever reason. Surely they didn't look at the away result and think that we were just going to steamroll them at Anfield, but I did. Maybe as a fan, maybe I was a bit too arrogant yesterday, to be fair, and I was a bit maybe disrespectful towards Atalanta with my 4-2 prediction, and they came and shook it up. So I don't expect Brighton to do the same. I think Liverpool know what's gonna await them when they come to the Amex. So look, to me, 2-0 prediction anyway. And cheers for watching. I'm going to switch back over to the other studio. Right, folks, what do we got? City are used to playing without fans, Craig said. K. Yeah, they kind of are, mate, but that's just their secret. Liverpool bidded for SCHUURS. Yes, we'll get on to that in a couple of minutes, mate. What else is there? Craig, if you watch Maradona in Mexico, I have. It's a really good watch. And look, I'm so saddened, as the whole football world is, at the passing of Diego Maradona yesterday. And it wasn't lost on me, the coincidence that it was 15 years since George Best passed away as well. And 3 days of mourning have been declared in Argentina for the great Diego Armando Maradona. And yeah, it's extremely sad. I mean, it is just extremely sad. They could analyse Ben White. We've spoken about Ben White. And look, I'll get into the transfer section in a couple of minutes, folks. I just want to, get your thoughts on the predicted 11s, get your thoughts on the game coming up against Brighton. Hi, Craig. I'm back. How are you? I'm good, Ahmed. As always, mate. No rush or Dalglish subs at least. Yeah, John, I was tempted, mate. I was nearly getting the boots out myself to get ready for the game. How do I feel about Origi's future, said Harry Willock. Again, mate, not being too reactionary to yesterday. I'm going to stand still on what I've said, or stand firm on what I've said all the time. To me, he's at the very bottom of the totem pole of Liverpool strikers. And I expect him to try and angle himself a move in January, because he's going to want to get into the Belgium Euro squad. Whether he can force his way in or not, that's another question. Be surprised if you hear talk of him looking to move out on loan in January. Lamptey's red card is good news for Liverpool. It is. I mean, it's always it's never ideal when a player like that picks up a ban for them, but it's not an injury, so I'm alright to say that it's good that he's banned. I'm a dyke, because I don't want to brag about it, but it is good that he's not there. He's a great young player, Lamptey, to be fair. Heavy D died. I know, Gar, we touched on that yesterday as well, man. If you don't know who Heavy D is, he's an Arsenal fan. Bit of a personality, was on Big Brother and stuff as well, I think, and unfortunately he passed away as well. So of course our love and best wishes go to him, the Arsenal fan base, and it's just a sad day all around yesterday. Right, somebody said Ian McSherry, that's a good shout. So let me scroll up and try and find where Ian McSherry's comment was, so I can where is it? Where is Ian McSherry's comments? Would rest Mane for this game, play Jota on the left? I don't think we can afford to rest anyone, mate, if I'm being honest with you. We've got no Naby Keita. Looks like we're going to have no Thiago. So we don't really have... Maybe he could play Takumi Minamino in the attacking midfield berth, mate, which, would free up a space, I suppose. And I think maybe I'm being optimistic, pal. I just want us to go with the attacking forward. I don't want us to take any chances in this game. I'd rather go try and win the game in 60 minutes, get Sadio off and give him a rest. Maybe bring Taki on then, switch things up a little bit. But yeah, I can see where you're coming from. There's a lot of games coming. We will need to rotate. And, you don't want to overplay the players either, Ian, because you don't want them picking up an injury. Jota's wasted on the right wing. I don't think he is. I actually think we're a bit naive when we talk about him being on the right wing, because you see with Diogo Jota, he drifts in field quite a bit, and that then in turn frees up a little bit of space there in behind for either full-back to come running down the right hand side or Mohamed Salah to just get in around the corner. So what you probably see with Jota is almost a roaming Diogo Jota, and I think we might get to a point. Do you remember when we first started playing under Kloppo? Our forwards used to just drop out of position, switch all the time, and confuse the shit out of defenders. And I'm wondering if Jota is going to allow us to do that again. Firmino dropping deep, picking up space, making holes for Jota to drop in between the lines. I'm excited to see how this works out long term. If we can get this system right, if Thiago comes back in and it's Thiago Hendo or Thiago Gini or Hendo Gini, and then with an attacking midfielder ahead of them, i.e. let's say Bobby Firmino in this circumstance, there's a lot of options there. That's going to cause teams a big headache, and will also help us defend from the front with the excellent press that we get from Bobby Firmino, Diogo Jota, Sadio Mane, etc. What have we got? Craig, do you think... I think you tried to say Tsimikas will be able to cut the mustard. Look, he's never going to be Robbo. It's important to point that out. Robbo is sensational. So trying to compare anybody we bring into Robbo is going to be difficult. Now, it's important to remember, he's a backup left back. Now, he still has to be able to come in and do the job and perform to a high level. And I think it's too early to say whether he'll, as you said, to use your phrase, cut the mustard. But I'm positive on him, and I'm hopeful. But again, he is just a backup, so let's see how he gets on as the season progresses. I don't know who Connor Moore is, Joe Warren. I've no idea. I've never heard of the fella. What else have we got? Scotty said Craig will play Alisson, Milner, Matip, Fabinho, Robbo, Hendo, Gini, Jota, Salamane. For me, that's exactly what I've gone for, mate. Same team as myself. I think Bobby will score again, said Weenie Boy. Yes, I'd love Bobby to go and bag another one, mate. Get the confidence up. I miss Virgil as well, K-Dot. You're not the only one. Click for Cayley, so I prefer Jota on the left. I don't mind Mane in the middle 9. Look, the beauty of our 4 forwards, I suppose, is that they can all play in a numerous positions. Salah can play on the right, he can play through the centre. Mane can play left, right, or as you've rightly said, through the centre. Bobby can play through the centre, or he can play deep. Jota can play pretty much anywhere in that front 4 position. So we are blessed to have players who can play in a myriad of positions, and it's something you'll see consistently with players that Kloppo signs. They can usually cover a whole host of positions. Even looking at Tsimikas there, he can play left back, he can play left wing back, he can even play left sided of a back 3. He has played that for Olympiacos, so again, just a whole host of options there. Right, let's have a little talk around Per SCHUURS, shall we? So there are various reports starting to come out now, and I've reached out to people in the journalist industry to see if there's any truth to this, and I believe that there is. So there's a report gone out that suggests Liverpool have already prepared a €30 million offer for Ajax centre-back Per SCHUURS. Just to give you a bit of background, he was at Fortuna Sittard and then came for a trial at Liverpool when he was 17 back in 2018. I think today is actually his 21st birthday, so happy 21st, Mr. SCHUURS. And so he came on trial to Liverpool back in 2018. That trial went well, but Liverpool thought, as did his representatives, I believe, that it was best for his progression to go back to Fortuna Sittard. They made him captain of the club, and then of course he went and moved on to Ajax. Now, Ajax are willing to sell, but they want the €30 million. So I've no idea if the €30 million that people believe is the actual figure that we're going to go in with. In fact, I'd be very confident that Michael Edwards will try and get a lower figure, or at least a much lower initial payment, with the rest of it structured across the deal. Maybe some incentives or some add-ons if we were to reach the latter stages of the Champions League, yada yada yada. But I don't think we'll pay €30 million, if I'm being honest with you. Maybe in the media, even with all the add-ons, it'll be thrown out there as €30 million. But there is genuine interest in Per SCHUURS. I'll leave it up to you to decide what you think of the player. I think, again, another young lad that's far too early in his career to write him off, because I have seen some negativity around him already. But that looks like the target. That looks like the one that Kloppo is going to go for. And the people that I've reached out to today and spoke to about it, they believe that there is interest there. Nobody would go as far as to say that the offer is about to be made, and I can understand that. I wouldn't expect them to give me that type of information. But yeah, look, folks, it looks like there's genuine interest here in SCHUURS. And it makes sense. It's the type of profile of player that Liverpool should be and will be looking to sign. I gave you guys Ben White as well as another alternative, another young good centre-back. He would, of course, have to pay a premium there because he's English and he's with Brighton. And again, would Brighton be willing to release him in January? I don't know. It looks like Ajax could be willing to release Per SCHUURS. And look, any kid that gets a footballing education at Ajax, as far as I'm concerned, knows how to play the game. Per SCHUURS is 6'3" as well, so right in the right area that you want for a centre-back. And look, to me, I'm not going to claim to have infinite knowledge on him. I did a little bit of research on him. I've watched a few clips and I've obviously watched a few Ajax games, and he looks alright. He isn't a finished article by any stretch of the imagination, but he does fit the right type of profile that Liverpool would and should be looking to sign. So again, keep your eye on this one, folks, because I think this one's going to start moving as December moves along as well, because we're going to want to get any potential deal done for whoever it might be that comes in very early. There's no point in dicking around and wasting time in January. Every week that goes by is another couple of games that have gone. So yeah, I expect us to be early in the January window. What have we got? Has Divock played his last game? He's a legend, of course, but he isn't good enough. What do I think? I don't know if he's played his last game. I do agree that he isn't good enough at this particular moment. But I think we'll probably see him maybe once or twice more throughout the season. But I think he's continually dropping down the pecking order at Liverpool, unfortunately. It looks like you have green hair on your head. Yeah, that's the green screen behind me, man, with the light shining down. Don't mind it, it's grand. What nationality is SCHUURS? I believe he's Dutch. I miss Thiago. Oh man, so do I. So badly. So badly that I'm almost wondering, was it a dream? Did we sign Thiago? Was it real? My brother used to love watching your videos before he passed away. I'm a Man United fan, but I'll always respect you. Well, I'm terribly sorry to hear about the passing of your brother. That must be extremely difficult, and may he rest in peace. And lots of love from all of us, pal. That's I don't know what to say other than condolences and lots of love, mate. What else we got? I'm from America, said Jose. Lovely to see you in, mate. Welcome. Give us your thoughts on all things Liverpool related, buddy, and I'll do my best to get through them. Can Thiago or Hendo play against Brighton? Hendo, yes, he's back training, Mustafa. Pictures of him today. I fully expect him to start, and again, he's in my predicted starting 11 for the game. Daniel, I'm really good, mate. How are you? Right, what else we got? Mark said, do you expect Adrian to be released at the end of the season when his contract runs out? Yes. The short answer is yes, mate. I think the club know that we need to strengthen that position. Whether they look to Queven Kelleher or whether they wait for young Gianluigi Pittaluga, who of course is only 17 and only starting his Liverpool career now with the underage team. So again, big calls to be made, but you know, I trust Klopp will make the right call. Is Keita starting to be a flop? I think you could only call him a flop, mate, if he doesn't perform. I think he does perform when he plays, but I think the real frustration, of course, comes with the fact that he's picking up a lot of injuries. And look, I'm sure it's as frustrating for him as it is for all of us, because he's going to want to push on and really enjoy his time at Liverpool. So I wouldn't say flop, but I can understand frustration completely. I mean, I love the guy. As I keep telling you, there's a framed Keita shirt right behind me here on the wall, and I hope that the club can get to the bottom of these injuries and come up with a training regime or a fitness regime that will help him, and we can see more of him, because he's a fantastic footballer. Origi in January or the summer. Again, Rodgers, I think there is a chance that he may move on, even on loan in January. I don't think a club could get the money that they wanted for Divock in the summer window, which of course I think, just my opinion, ended in us selling Ryan Brewster, albeit with that buyback clause. I think it was I think the club just needed to free up some money, and they wanted to get the deal for Jota done. They got the money for Ryan Brewster. In an ideal world, if I think there was £25 million down on the table for Ryan and £25 million down on the table for Divock, I think Liverpool would have bitten the hand off the people who had the money for Divock and kept Ryan Brewster. But as it is, I'm hoping beyond hope that we get Ryan back at some point. I hope that he can go to Sheffield United, get the supply that he needs to show what a good player that he is, and hopefully see him back. But yeah, Divock, I think January there is a chance he could look to force a loan with the Euros coming up, and he wanting to get into Martinez's mind ahead of that Belgian squad. So don't rule it out. Jake said Curtis Jones was brilliant against Leicester. He was. Curtis Jones is a class player, mate, and even yesterday didn't probably create as much as he would have wanted, but one thing I love about Curtis Jones is he does not shy away. He wants the ball, he looks for the ball, he doesn't hide on the pitch. That gets a lot of points for me, and that shows you that you're looking at a young lad there that's full of confidence, full of belief. And yeah, it's going to be a good season for Curtis Jones. I think by the end of this season, Curtis Jones will be right in the mix of those midfielders. Did I see the keeper Jose Santos against City the other day? He was amazing in goal. I didn't, Robert. I don't watch Manchester City games where possible because I don't enjoy them, actually, weirdly. They play good football. I just don't enjoy the lack of cutting edge at times with City. They get frustrating to watch. Brewster's better than Origi, man. You're not going to get any argument from me. You guys remember me in this whole situation. I was extremely pissed off that Ryan Brewster was sold. I believe in Ryan Brewster, and that belief hasn't been shaken one bit. The fact that he's not had a great start at Sheffield United, I don't think is really down to Ryan Brewster. I think it's down to the system and the fact that he's not getting the service that he needs there. And I really do hope we see Ryan back. Ashton, you're starting to bore me, mate, with your stupid comments. So I'm going to remove you because I could be arse dealing with you, to be honest, pal. Pittaluga's better than Adrian. Well, certainly looking that way. He certainly has more of a future at the club, put it that way. Any truth that VVD is in light training? Yes, he is in light training, and when you say this year, I think you probably mean this season, Stephen. And I can't rule out Virgil van Dijk may be coming back towards the latter part of the season, but I also can't confirm that he will be back because anything can happen in the recuperation process. He could pick up another knock. And it's great that he's back in light training, but that light training will of course be part of his rehab and that as well. But look, we all want Virg back as soon as possible. Of course, Joe Gomez as well. Do I think Thiago will be back for the Ajax match? Oh, I'm hoping, pal. That's all I can say to you. Like all of you guys out there, I'm dreaming of Thiago dropping in and doing bits in that midfield. And look, a European game would probably be the right type of game to get him back in. One that, even if he did only have a few sessions, he'd probably be more accustomed to that style of football, obviously European football. So yeah, maybe, hopefully. And hopefully if he does play, we'll get those 3 points. We'll qualify for the knockout stages, and then we can put out a change side for the game against Midfield. Carl said he didn't want Brewster to go. Either did I, Carl. Not at all, man. Not at all. There's so much I wish I could say around that situation that I just can't. Do you think Liverpool signed a midfielder to replace Gini due to his contract? It's a difficult one, this, man, because we know we've got Harvey Elliott. Now, I'm not calling Harvey Elliott a midfielder, by the way, but I know we've got another young attacking player that's out there on loan. That's doing quite well at Blackburn and is highly thought of. We also have Curtis Jones, who's breaking through this season. So let's look at it from the point of view of if everybody was fit and available, with Gini moving on. So you've got Jordan Henderson, you've got Thiago. You've got Jimmy Milner, you've got Curtis Jones, you've got Naby Keita, you've got Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. I think Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain's fitness may hold the key to whether Liverpool look to go into that market to sign another midfielder. You would hope maybe the likes of Szoboszlai, whose name I can't pronounce, even Houssem Aouar. You know, Arsenal were trying their best to get him in the summer. So they're the type of players, if we are looking at midfielders, I expect Liverpool to be looking at. But I can't confirm or deny anything at the minute because I genuinely don't know what the plans would be for the transfer window in the summer. Probably get more information on that obviously as the season goes on and we see how everyone develops. But the club will have their plans in place. The club will be monitoring players for the last few years and they don't do anything short term, so, and rightly so. So yeah, maybe. But I think a lot will depend on, one, how Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain finishes the season and also the development of Curtis Jones. What's my score prediction for Brighton? Yusuf, I went for a 2-0 win for the Reds, mate. 2-0. I did the preview earlier on. Dundalk just missed a penalty. Oh, unlucky. They're playing the Aviva tonight as well, Tom. Obviously the Irish National Stadium there, which is great for those players. But yeah, not great result so far. And Grujic, yes, as well. Good shout, mate. We do Grujic as well, of course, on loan at Porto. It's a very good shout, mate. Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, and let's see how Grujic gets on with Porto there, because myself and Connor have always believed there's a player in there in Marco Grujic, and hopefully he gets his opportunity at some point as well. Thank you, Ian, for pointing that out, because I would have forgot about that. Tielemans for Gini if he leaves, said Rodders. I thought Yuri Tielemans blows a bit hot and cold for me. Sometimes I look at him and I think, absolutely. And other times I'd look at him and think, he's just not consistent enough. But, you know, it'll be interesting maybe to get a Leicester fan's perspective on that. So the next time we talk with Lee Chappie, maybe we'll bring that up. Although, of course, no Leicester fan will want to hear me talking about potentially taking one of his players. Gini's fine of the... What's it? Gini is fine of the first? Don't know what that means. 5 on the team sheet, always plays well. Gini's Mr. Consistency, John. Yeah, look, you can never go wrong having Gini in the team. You'll always get a good shift out of him. He's a solid pro. I mean, every time I see his name in there as well, I'm always filled with confidence. What part of Ireland am I from? Dublin, but I live in Wexford. Hi Craig, who is SCHUURS? So, SCHUURS is a player that plays for Ajax, mate. He's a young centre-back, Per SCHUURS, 21 years of age. I think today's his 21st, actually. 6'3" in height. He was at Liverpool on trial from Fortuna Sittard when he was 17 back in 2018. Liverpool liked what they saw. He did well in that trial, but they thought best for his development that he went back to Fortuna Sittard in Holland and continued his progression. They made him captain, and then Ajax came in and he went to there. Liverpool have kept monitoring him, and yeah, it looks like there could be an offer going in. At least that's what's being rumbled around in the media. And when I reached out today, I kind of got a warm response to the idea of him. Now, of course, I didn't reach out to the club because I've no contacts at the club, but I do know a few journalists that I've gotten to know over the years, and there could be something to this one, so keep an eye on it. Now, I'm not saying he's the only player that Liverpool will be looking at. I fully expect them to be looking at Upamecano and Ben White, but the Upamecano thing, I don't know, I just get a feeling he's going to end up at United or Bayern Munich. That's just a gut feeling that I have about Upamecano. I'm not saying it's right, I'm not saying it's wrong, I'm just saying it's my feeling. What else we got? So we're interested in SCHUURS. Yes, I can definitely say we're interested in SCHUURS. Except for Alisson, Kasper Schmeichel is the best keeper in the league. No, he's not. Sorry, but he isn't. Hope you're well. Great to be here. I'm alright, thank you, mate. At least that's my opinion. Kasper Schmeichel's alright. He's a decent goalkeeper. Again, some hits and misses. He's made quite a few blunders if you look back as well. But he is a good keeper. I'm not saying he's not. But I don't think he's the second best one in the league. I think he's probably fourth or fifth. Any news on Chukwueze from Villarreal? Yeah, again, this is one of those that I don't know if there's any truth to. Samuel Chukwueze's been linked to us for a while. Again, one of those players that hasn't really yet fulfilled his potential, but is still young, even though he seems to have been around for a good few years. I don't know if it's a lazy journalism. I don't know if it's a lazy link, mate, but I will try to find out. We'll win the game at Brighton, said Mohammed. I hope so, Mohammed. We should be looking to go win that game, pal. Fake recoils, I'm good, buddy. I hope you are as well. Thank you for joining me again tonight. Fabinho at centre-back is really good compared to Fernandinho. Oh, he is. He reads the game so well. That's the positioning of Fabinho. You can see he's got that defensive mentality built into him. Even, he's always side on as well. So, you've probably seen the segment on Monday Night Football where Jamie Carragher broke down Liverpool playing the high line and the way the players need to have their body position. And Fabinho is always side on, ready to make the run if needs be, but always holding the line. He's such a clever player. And yeah, he has fitted in at centre-back seamlessly well. Get back Harvey Elliott. Well, no, because I mean it's doing him the world of good, isn't it? Being there at Blackburn, and if he can get a whole season there, do really well. No doubt he'll be back next year, and hopefully in contention for one of those starting attacking places, because there's no doubt that he's a massive red. He wants to be here. Very brave of him to go and take that loan at Blackburn, and hopefully it works out and we see Harvey Elliott back next season full of confidence and ready to go for the Reds. Origi time over. I think so, Shane. And again, like somebody pointed out earlier on, man, I don't like to go in on a Liverpool player. I don't like to be negative about a Liverpool player. I love these boys with all my heart. But I don't know, there's something about Divock that I don't know if there's a mental block there or if I'm reading his body language incorrectly, but he just doesn't seem to be hungry or at it or switched on or confident. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it, but there's something about him that just doesn't look right to me. And I can't say what it is. I don't want to go two-footed in on the lad, but yes, I would agree that maybe his time at the club looks like it's coming towards a close. But again, it's not up to me. It's up to Klappo on that one. Fabinho's built like a centre-back as well. Yeah, it's good shape. He's just brilliant, isn't he? A Brazilian octopus, as I call him, because he's got legs everywhere, able to just grab the ball left, right and centre. I love Fabinho. He's brilliant. Dave Smith said he's a monster in defence. I'd play him with VVD next season. It is actually going to be really interesting next season, because let's look at this, right? So, potentially, as you said there, you've got Fabinho and VVD. Then you look ahead to the midfield, and you've got Hendo and Thiago. And then you've got Natal maybe in the double pivot there. Yeah, it is interesting, because how are you going to go with a midfield trio of Henderson, Thiago, Fabinho? Maybe, but is Hendo the attacking midfielder in that position? It's great. It gives us so many options for next year, and it gives the opposition so much more to think about as well. And again, we're talking about versatility, which we touched on earlier on in the stream as well. And you get nothing but versatility from Liverpool players. Fabinho, another one of those. Gini's another one. Hendo's another one. Jimmy Milner is just the model professional. Sturridge could have been a better sub instead of Divock. I don't know. I don't like to dwell on negatives. I'd rather try and find positives where I can, and I struggled yesterday to find many positives. I've got great memories of Divock, and I don't want to dislike him. He should go a hero. Absolutely, Dave. Look, Divock Origi had this magnificent season with us where he popped up and stood up to be counted in the big games in some huge moments, and was a really important part of our run to that Champions League. Without Divock Origi's really important goals in there, we probably wouldn't have been pushing for the league title as close as we did to Manchester City. We certainly wouldn't have been getting past Barcelona and beating Spurs. Divock Origi had a really important role to play in that and stood up to be counted. But you can't live off that forever. You've got to continue that. We were all hoping that Divock would push on from there, sign that new contract, and we thought we were going to see Divock Origi maybe being our super sub, maybe being the player that Klopp can rely on. But as things stand, I think it's fair to say that as of right now, he doesn't seem to be that player. That's all I can say. Again, I don't want to dwell on negatives. Any news on Mbappe? Nope. No news. Again, I don't expect him to end up at Liverpool. I think his wages would be far too high. I think looking to the year after, Houlden is far more realistic of a target for Liverpool. But look, we'd all love Kylian Mbappe, wouldn't we? Predicted lineup for Brighton. I've already gone through it, mate. But look, I'll go through it one more time. Let me just switch back because I don't have it in this scene. Right, I've just got to switch scenes there to the Watchalong one. And right, there's my predicted lineup for the game against Brighton for those that are in a little bit late. So I've gone for Alisson in goal, Jimmy Milner at right back, Robertson at left back, Fabinho to partner Joel Matip at the centre of the defence. I've gone for Gini Wijnaldum and Jordan Henderson in midfield with that quartet ahead of them. And you can place these players wherever you want. We just threw them in there for argument's sake. Mane on the left, Salah on the right, Jota to the centre and Firmino as the attacking mid. You can absolutely easily pull Salah to the centre, put Jota on the right. Now, I expect them to interlink. I expect them to be like the Red Arrows, as I keep calling them, and cause Brighton defenders a whole host of headaches. And again, it's important to remember that Brighton don't have Lamptey available for this one either. So yes, that's my predicted 11. Haaland or Mbappe? Well, look, if it was just a case of having one of the players, 3 months ago I'd have said Mbappe without blinking, but I don't know, there's just the thoughts of having an out-and-out animal goal scorer in our team would be great as well. So I honestly don't know. It's a very good question, but it's a very difficult answer. Who would you have? Who would you guys have? Good lineup, said Daniel. Thank you, mate. Caspia, it's not just one poor game though, mate. I respect the fact that you want people to leave him alone, and that's great. And I love that you're supporting our players, but it's not just one bad game, mate. It's bad game and then bad game after some bad cameos as well. And he just hasn't taken his chances so far. It looks like, Walter, that it is too soon for Thiago, unfortunately, mate. No sign of him training yet either. Tottenham and Wolves games on Amazon. Takeda's next to Iniesta. Yes, and the Wolves game will be the first one that sees Liverpool welcome back fans into Anfield. Expecting 2,000 fans for that game against Wolves. It's a Sunday night kickoff. It is on Amazon in the UK and Ireland. It'll be on Premier Sports as well, I believe. So yeah, difficult. Right, what have you guys said? Haaland by a country mile for Daniel. You're out of focus. Sorry, mate. Let me just try and figure this out. There you go. Thank you, mate. Haaland by a country mile to somebody else, and thank you for letting me know I'm out of focus, man. I should be back in now. Haaland. Craig, you're a goat, said Charlie. Thank you, man. Love that, man. Really appreciate it. Probably Mbappe, said Hex. Hydrominant said Mbappe. Caspia said any word on Shaqiri. No, it's real weird. The club don't give out much information these days about injured players. It's really odd. Like, Shaqiri, nobody had a clue that he'd even had a knock up until he wasn't picked for the game. So no, I haven't heard anything on Shaqiri. Which is frustrating because he was in good form. I was enjoying actually seeing Shaqiri's little cameos. Who's SCHUURS? His name is Per SCHUURS, mate. He's a centre-back from Ajax. He turns 21 today. And again, as I said, he was on loan. Or not on loan, on trial at Liverpool back in 2018. When he was playing for Fortuna Sittard. Liverpool decided to send him back to Holland to continue his education. He then moved to Ajax. And now here we are looking to get him back. Connor said, even as a United fan, you're one of my favourite YouTubers. Keep it up. Man, thank you. And it's great. Look, we are all opposition fans, yeah? You support United, I support Liverpool. But there's no reason we shouldn't be able to have a fun conversation around the game. And I'll tell you your team's shite. You'll tell me my team's shite. And we'll have a bit of fun along the way, Connor. But we welcome in everybody to the channel, mate. Whether you're a United fan, Arsenal fan, City fan, it doesn't matter. You're very welcome in here. As long as you're respectful to the other people in the chat, man, you'll get that right back from ours. Our subscribers are amazing. And look, folks, as you can see, we've gone past 58k as well. So thank you to everyone for that. If you're new to the channel, please do hit the subscribe button, of course. Drop a like on the video. Love the show. Big hello from Australia, said Michael. Lots of love right back to you, pal. And I would kill for some of that Australian warm weather right now. Can't we have both plus Sancho, said Carl. Stop being greedy, Carl. Don't make me get Julie to give you a slap, mate. She will, you know. Vinicius Jr. from Real Madrid. The only time I remember, AJ, any link to Vinicius Jr. was when there was talk that Real Madrid wanted, I think at the time it was Sadio Mane, and there was talk of Vinicius Jr., but that's a long time ago and I don't expect it to happen. Sarah Marshall, how are you? Lovely, thank you for the super chat. Said, if you bring in a new centre-back, who you dropping in the 25-man team? Again, it's a very fair point, Sarah, because you've got to look at the squad. I don't have the squad to hand. It's on my phone, actually. I could probably scroll back through it and have a look. It's a fair question. Origi, maybe, if he moves on. That's all I can think of, Sarah. If we move Origi on loan in January, and I did say at the start of the stream, it looks like he could be looking to engineer that loan to get into the Belgium squad. That might free up a place in the squad. But it's another point very well made by Sarah that we do have to look at and negotiate when we're looking to bring players in. This is why I love our chats, by the way, because I mean, if I forget something, you guys pull me up on it, and sometimes I can give you a bit of info, but I do love it. I do love that this is a two-way street, folks. What camera do I use? A Logitech Brio, mate. It's one of the most expensive webcams out there. But because we do longer streams, we can't use like a DSLR camera or anything like that because they shut off after 30 minutes. So yeah, we use a Logitech Brio webcam. Obviously, we do have a DSLR and stuff for when we're out and about shooting. Will I ever go on the kickoff? I hope so, mate. I really hope so. I'd love to be invited onto the kickoff to have a chat with Brian and Lawrence. We met Lawrence at the beginning of the year, actually. He's a lovely fella. Met him over in London when we were at the launch of La Liga TV. So I hope so, yeah. I mean, if the invite's ever given, I'd jump on straight away. I love True Geordie, love the kickoff. And it would be a pleasure. Aryan said, I don't care what anyone says, Robbo's the best left back in the world because Alphonso Davies ain't the left back. Alphonso Davies is a class, mate, but I agree, I wouldn't swap Robbo for anyone. Eno, how are you, man? Hope you're well. Our away at Bristol Rovers in the FA Cup second round. It's on BBC One at 1:30. I wish you all the best, Eno, I really do. I hope that you can continue that FA Cup run, mate. Oliver, how are you, mate? Have I missed anything important? Right, really quick, we went through the preview for the game against Brighton, mate, which of course we'll clip up and you can watch that later on. We talked about SCHUURS, who it looks like Liverpool could be close to putting in an offer, or maybe preparing an offer for, depending on who you're believing in the media. That's about it. Other than that, we've been talking about the game last night, looking ahead to the game against Brighton. And look, ladies and gentlemen, let me just ask you all one little favour. If you haven't subscribed to our new channel, Anfield Agenda Clips, please go over and hit the subscribe button. We've gone past 500 subs on that one. It's going to be where we're going to clip up the longer shows and give you guys more bite-sized information and bite-sized videos. Again, we hope it works out. It's something that was suggested to us by our subscribers, and we always try and listen to what you guys have to say. And again, if you want to become a member and join Anfield Agenda FC, I always give the guys the heads up before anybody else. I told them about SCHUURS earlier on today. I've told them about a massive interview that I'm going to do next week as well. They know who it's with, they know what it's about, but it's not information that I give out into social media because I don't want people to rob our ideas or too early and stuff like that. So if you want to become a member, hit the blue join button. It's $4.99 a month to join Anfield Agenda FC. You get the Anfield Agenda logo beside your name, you get use of all the custom emojis, and you also get into our Discord group, which is exclusively for Anfield Agenda FC members. What have we got? Sancho won't go to United because even when he was young he used to play for City. I don't think that would make any difference, Mike. I'm not saying he will or won't go to United, mate. I'm just saying I don't think the City thing will make any difference. Craig, do you think instead of signing a 20-year-old centre-back we should stick with our youngsters? Not much age difference, give them a chance. Oh, it's a difficult one, isn't it, man? Because it's a crazy season. In a season where we had Van Dijk or Gomez, I would say probably give them a chance, but I don't want to bring up another negative, but remind me in the next stream or two to go through Joe Gomez's injury record and give you an idea of why I think Liverpool will be going into the market for a centre-back. But you're right, we do have Billy Comedio, but a lot of these younger players may require a loan period. And let's say we send them out on loan for a season and we go through next season. Maybe at the end of next season we try and move Matip on and bring one of the young lads back. A lot of stuff's up in the air. Of course, a lot of this is just opinion, folks. But it's interesting. Great stream yet again. Thank you, Weenie Boy. That's really kind of you. I heard Sancho was a Chelsea fan, so the City links won't stop him. I don't think being a fan of any club would stop a player signing for another club if it's the right move at the right time in their career. Players just want to play football, develop, and obviously work under very good coaches and with good players. So I think you have to weigh up all these things when you're talking about transfers. What do I think of Tariq Lamptey? I think it was very unfortunate at Chelsea that Reece James was there. I think Tariq Lamptey is an excellent young player, and I fully expect him to be a big club in the very near future. He's quality. He really is. He's a great young player to watch. Craig, you should check out Lee Kang from Valencia. Haven't watched much of Valencia this season actually at all, mate. I follow Barca in La Liga, as you guys know, and I watch a fair bit of Spanish football, but for some reason I haven't watched many Valencia games this year. Mark's team will be Alisson, Adrian, Kelleher, Van Dijk, Gomez, Matip, Trent, Robert. No, this isn't a team. This is all the players that we have. Sorry. Fabinho, Thiago, Hendo, Gini, Keita. I don't know what this is. Is that next year's squad, Mark? I'm not sure where we're going with that. Do I watch James Redmond TV? No, I don't, mate. Why would I? I tell you what. I know who he is, of course, and I wish him all the best. I don't really watch much other Liverpool content because I don't want to be influenced in my train of thought. So I want whatever I come on and talk about to be my opinion. So I don't want to watch, let's say, Redmen or the Anfield Rap or somebody else and have my opinions not tainted by their views, but I want my opinions to be my opinions. So I don't watch much other Liverpool content at all, mate. But of course, as always, I wish everybody well. What have we got? Given Thiago is injured, I think journalists need to relax asking Klopp every time about players return and why would he do that. Yeah, I get that as well, Mike, but you know the training pictures are there, mate, that show that he isn't training, so unfortunately it doesn't look like he's there just yet. Biram said, I like the look of Ruben Semedo, looked solid last night and good with range of passing through the lines. Oh, that's the current squad, sorry Robert. Oh, Mark, it's this year's Champions League team. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I got confused there, Mark. Didn't know. Remember you saying Bolt, we should sign him. Yeah, he did try to have a football career, didn't he, at one point? Jordan Henderson was seen in training. Yes, Jordan Henderson is back training, mate, without a shadow of a doubt. And he looked like he was moving freely and very well. So I expect Hendo to be in the starting lineup against Brighton. Would like Mane to get a rest. Him getting injured is something I can't stomach. Oh, buddy, yeah, I'm with you. But look, let's look at it this way. If nobody's wishing an injury, at least we have Diogo Jota now. So at least we have 3 good attacking players if we want to rest one for any game. I hope we go with the 4 this weekend. I'm being greedy, I know, but why not? Craig, what are your thoughts of the defender at Atalanta yesterday? I thought he was really solid. Which one? I don't know which one you're talking about, mate. Well, he didn't have much to deal with, to be fair. We were terrible yesterday. We didn't get going at all. Daniel said, I thought Tsimikas was disappointing last night. Mate, the entire team was disappointing, to be fair. He didn't do anything to set the game alight, but I don't remember doing anything drastically wrong. I do remember him being caught up the field on a couple of occasions. Maybe he overcommitted a little bit. I don't know if that was under instruction from the gaffer or not. So it's very difficult to criticise a player when we don't know the instructions that he was given. Romero, oh, that's the guy you're talking about. Yeah, he looked alright. Atalanta were a good team. I've said this to you before. I enjoy watching them play. They're really good. Gasperini has played a really good attacking style of football. Doesn't matter who gets in as long as Milner's fit. Exactly, Robert. Milner's always fit, isn't he? Rod, good morning to you, buddy. Lots of love all the way over to Australia. I love the croissant and coffee emoji, mate. Well in. Recovered from the disappointment? No, Rod, not really, mate. I still have a little twinge of sadness, if I'm being honest, about yesterday's game. We and Kloppo are blessed with our front line. Defo. Right, ladies and gents, anything else before we finish up tonight? Anything else you want to ask or anything else you want to go through? Again, subscribe button, drop a like on the video. We've got a United fan in the chat. Jack, look, you're very welcome in to have a chat, pal, but rather than just coming in and putting United, pal, come in and say something. Do you know what I mean? Give an opinion, ask us something. We're happy to answer your questions, buddy, but don't be that guy. Do you know what I mean? Don't be that lad. Kent, Carl, talk to you soon, my friend. Maradona nearly played for Arsenal. I didn't know that, man. That's mad. What are your thoughts on Gravenberch? Me personally, I want to sign him as a replacement. Again, I don't have any thoughts on him, mate. I'm not going to claim to know every single player playing football in Europe at the minute, so excuse me on that one. Oh yes, I do remember Nicky Hunt. Anything? Yes, I remember you saying he had the head injury actually, Ian. So again, great to see that he's back and well. Danny Dogg's gone for a 3-0 win for the Reds against Brighton. Though I think Genie will stay or go. I think he'll go, but I hope he stays, Benjamin. I mean, who wouldn't want Genie to stay? He's a model pro room, and I hope he stays. But I think he might leave, but I hope he stays. Right, ladies and gentlemen, look, gotta call that one a night. What day is it? Friday. So we'll be back with another late night agenda tomorrow, looking ahead to the game against Brighton, which is a 12:30 p.m. kickoff on Saturday. It's on BT Sports in the UK and Ireland. Again, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, drop a like on the video, and if you haven't checked out our brand new channel, Anfield Agenda Clips, please do go over and sub to that as well for all our shorter form content, or the longer streams clipped up into more bite-sized, digestible content. Again, massive thank you to our sponsors, Boyle Sports, for all of their support as well. But most importantly, thank you to you guys for taking the time for watching. Lots of love to all of you guys, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Have a good evening.